Jermaine, make a video talking about your bike. What up, YouTube? It's your boy Jermaine, back with another video. Thought I would make a video talking about my bike. Now, I did make a video talking about my bike before, reviewing my video, but I reviewed it on a rainy day and I was sitting in a parking garage. Wasn't the most entertaining video, but I thought I would make a different type of review video. This type of review video would be strictly for food delivery people and bike carriers and people who want to use this bike like legitimately as a cargo bike. Okay, so here we have it here. So this is the setup that I have now. Like, once again, I talked about this in another video before, but if you are new to this video, let's just go through it. So this bike by itself, it comes stock. It does not come with the fenders, the front fender and the back fender. It doesn't come with the back rack. It also doesn't come with this basket or this orange thing, and it also does not come with the screen here. All of these things were extras that I added, and the reason why I went with this bike to do food delivery is, number one, it's not that expensive. I was looking at getting a juice bike, and juice bikes are legit, but juice bikes are just a little bit more, and the batteries, to get a replacement battery for a juice bike is once again, it's a little bit more. So that's one reason I like this Rad Power bike. So this bike was $1,200 when I got it. It was one of those Black Friday specials, and it also came with free shipping. Right when I ordered this bike, I ordered the fenders to go with it. I ordered this back thing, and I also ordered I think that's it. I ordered this and this, right? So I had these two when I first got the bike, and I put these on, and they worked great, and it was free shipping, right? And then I later, got the front rack, and I also got this thing, which I had to pay shipping for these two, and I also had to pay shipping for this thing, the LCD. And the reason why I'm talking about the shipping and I had to pay for shipping, the reason why I'm letting you know this is because if you order your bike and you get all of these things, everything you want all at the same time, maybe you don't have to pay for shipping and you'll get everything all at the same time. So hint, hint. I just recently got the screen. This was the latest update. They sent me an email over the weekend, like maybe 2 months ago. And it said, hey, you can upgrade and get an LCD for your bike. And as soon as I opened the email, I just basically immediately bought it. Like, I was like, yeah, I'm digging it. Now, one thing that is a little disappointing, when I got the LCD, it started counting the miles like once I hooked this up. So the previous miles that I put on my bike, I have no idea how many miles I put on the bike before I hooked this up, and my guess is I've probably put about 1,000 miles on the bike. So far we can say I have about 3,150 miles on my Rad Power bike. Yes. Now for food delivery, because this is really the main market. This is the main group of people I'm talking to. So when you do food delivery, a lot of times, if you're doing food delivery in a place like New York or San Francisco, or maybe DC or other cities, right, downtown LA, you are going to be in areas like this. Like, you're going to be in like financial district, like big buildings, like everywhere, like all around you. And this is just an easy bike to ride. Now, you don't have a lot of gears, so I mainly point out certain areas, okay? Myself, I usually don't take deliveries going up big hills because I don't have gears. This bike only has one chain here on the other side, so I don't have gears that I can switch through. So I make sure I stay in certain areas that are flat. I stay in certain areas that I make sure I pick certain deliveries that stay downtown. So this is a good like downtown bike. Now, if you are trying to, get a good bike where you can, go up hills and you have gears and all that, I would say maybe you want to get like the Rad Rover. It's like just a different it's a different Rad Power bike. Maybe you want to check out that one. But just for just like a cargo bike, this is a really good option. This is a really good option. Now let's talk about the battery, because we always have to talk about the battery. Now, just recently, we've been in lockdown, like San Francisco, and a lot of the bike shops are closed. And I have this problem with my chain, as you can tell, it's stopping now, but like it skips like crazy, basically. And I need to get my chain replaced. See, it's skipping like crazy. So lately what I've been doing is I've just been riding it just with full throttle and just not pedaling at all. Like not pedaling at all, like completely just full throttle. I can get about 25 miles just full throttle, and that's if I'm just hanging out downtown. Now throughout the day I do go up hills. Like earlier today I went up Knob Hill, which was this massive hill just going straight up. And when I was going up that hill, I mean, come on, it's using a lot of battery, and I'm not letting off, you know. I'm on there the whole time, and I'm sort of zigzagging going up the hill. Okay, in that case, if you're gonna add some hills, you're gonna use the battery a lot less. Now, so how many hours can I use this bike for? So when I'm in San Francisco working, if I pick to stay in downtown, if I pick orders that are downtown, I can last definitely the whole entire lunch shift, because I always run into the situation where I show up to a restaurant and the order is not ready, and I'm waiting like 10 minutes for the order, I'm waiting 15 minutes for the order. That's time I'm not using the bike. That's time that I'm not riding the bike, okay? And then I pick up the order, and then that order is going like 2 or 3 blocks away, or that order is going like, you know, 4 or 5 blocks away. It's not going far at all. I drop that order off, and then I accept another order. I go to that restaurant. Maybe I have to wait, you know, maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes. So, and then also these are really, really short orders. Basically, you can get through the whole lunch shift. Now, let's talk about the weekend on the other hand. Now, on the weekends, I've noticed that, so during the week, maybe I can get 5 hours on one battery. I notice on the weekends, when people are not in downtown and people are not in one particular area, the orders are going all over the city, and the orders are going up hills and stuff like that. I usually don't take orders in Nob Hill, and if you're not familiar with San Francisco, Nob Hill is just this really hilly neighborhood. I usually take orders going to the Mission District or Soma. This area it's flat. It's sort of a small incline, but it's very, very flat for the most part. I typically like to take orders in this area just because, okay, it's like super, super flat, and I can dash back and forth. And I notice on the weekends, sometimes after like 2.5 hours, 3 hours, the battery's dead. And these are usually, you know, days I'm just running back and forth. And these days, it's usually somewhat windy. Oh my gosh, when it's windy outside, you just notice that you use a lot more battery when it's windy outside, especially if you are like riding towards the wind. Now, if you're riding away from the wind, of course, you're not going to use that much battery. But if you're riding towards the wind, and if you're riding around, chances are you're going to spend some time, you know, going in the direction that the wind is blowing toward you at. And that's one thing that'll drain the battery. And sometimes you have a lot of factors that'll drain the battery, and then you'll just notice that you're not going fast enough. Like sometimes when you're going up a big hill and it's windy, like you notice that, like, yo, I'm just not going that fast, you know. And that's just normal. That's going to happen on any electric bike, you know. And let's talk about the wattage, because since we're talking about speed and power and all that, this is a 750 watt motor, okay? And once you start riding the 750, you're not going to want to go down to anything else. Now, there's a lot of videos on YouTube saying that this is not exactly a 750. This is more like a 500, but it's just packaged and sold as a 750. I've definitely ridden 500s, and I've ridden 750s, and I don't know, it feels like it's a 750. I've definitely ridden 750s that feel a lot more powerful than the Rad Runner here, but also, I mean, it doesn't feel slow. It definitely has a nice get up and go. It's a very, very fun bike to ride. For people who are, you know, using this bike for deliveries, let's talk about the brakes, because this is one thing that you will have to replace, are the brakes. I usually run about every day, and I go through maybe about 2 charge cycles a day. So what that means is I, you know, use the battery once, charge it completely about twice a day, right? So roughly I ride anywhere from 40 to 50 miles a day, because maybe some of those miles are up really big hills. So I ride 40 to 50 miles a day. and I ride, let's say about on average 6 days a week. So we're gonna say about 300 miles a week. About every month, I have to change out the brake pads. Now, not necessarily change out the brake pads, but I have to like tinker with the brakes. So I have to like sort of move the brake pad over so it's closer to the, you know, it's closer to the disc brake. Like I have to like, you know, just use like an alloy tool. It's really, really easy to do. It's actually really, really easy to change the brakes for the most part. The maintenance is very, very minimal. But I am thinking about getting a second Rad Runner bike. I'm thinking about getting the Rad Rover, if I'm pronouncing this one correct, because I'm just not looking, but it's like the bigger bike. It's like black. I'm thinking about getting that one just because I want a second bike, just in case like I have a friend that doesn't have a bike, because I understand a lot of people just are not in the market for an electric bike. Because, for example, let's say you live in the city and you live on the 3rd floor. You know, you're not going to want to carry, you know, this heavy bike up a big hill. You know, I mean, up not of a big hill, but you're not going to want to carry this bike up, you know, 3-4 flights of stairs. So it's totally understandable. And, you know, it would be nice to have a second bike. Like if I have a friend in town, like they can ride another bike. If I have, you know, maybe if I have, you know, this bike broken down, I can already have a second bike to ride. One problem I did run into with this bike, and this is not a bike, this is not a problem from Rad Power or anything, it's just a problem I had. And the reason why I'm telling you guys is, if you buy this bike, I just want you to get extra parts, okay? So this is a problem I ran into with this bike. So I was riding about a month and a half ago, and I'm in the city. I'm in the middle of the middle lane, which you're not supposed to ride in, but like on certain areas you can, but like cops don't really bother you. So I'm just riding, and all of a sudden I stop, and when I get ready to take off again, I notice that like, yo, something's wrong with the bike. So this tire was completely flat, all right? So I didn't think much of it at all. So I just, you know, took the bike back home, parked the bike, and the next day, I, you know, took the wheel off, took it down to a bike shop and see if they would, you know, repair it for me, because I didn't have the tube or whatever. And I was thinking maybe I could just repair it, you know. Okay, so I go down to a bike shop, you know, go to the bike shop, drop the wheel off. They're like, yeah, you can pick it up tomorrow. We got 2 or 3 bikes ahead of you, and it's gonna take all day, you know. And that's how a lot of bike shops are around here. So I'm like, okay. So I leave the bike. They call me back like a couple hours later, and they tell me, hey, I'm sorry, we can't repair this bike. There's a puncture in the tire. And I promise you guys, like literally 2 weeks before this bike tire accident I had, where like, you know, I ran over this thing on the street, I was thinking of, should I order an extra tire and an extra tube just in case? And no, I did not order extra parts. I just did not order an extra tire and an extra tube. So now I need an extra tube and a new tire. Now I was able to find a tube, but I couldn't find a tire at any bike shops in the city. Therefore, I had to go back to the Rad Power website and order a new tire, which was kind of lame because I just had to wait for about a week for it to be delivered. Because I think I ordered it like, I don't know, it was like a holiday or something in between, so it made the shipping like slower. So it was kind of lame. But once again, it wasn't Rad Power's fault. It was just my own fault. And I'm just telling you guys, get extra parts, especially if you're doing deliveries. Maybe if you live in New York, you can get away with just pulling up to a bike shop and maybe they have these extra parts. But when you get a spare tire on when you get a flat tire on a fat tire bike, it really sucks, because these tires are just wide, and it's just really difficult to do anything with the bike. It's almost like, can I like call roadside assistance and like have like somebody pick me up? Because if I'm on the other side of town and this thing gets a flat, like I mean, I guess I'm gonna have to walk all the way back, but that's gonna be a long boring walk pushing this thing. And once you add all the baskets and stuff like that, it's not the lightest bike. It definitely adds weight to it. Let's talk about some of the accessories I use for deliveries, because people always ask me about the accessories that I use. So these are some of the accessories I use. I use this Amazon net here. This net is pretty cool. I usually don't have it on the front of the bike like this. I usually have it on the back of the bike. And whenever I lock the bike up, I will lock the bike up usually here. And I'll take parts of this and I'll put it through the lock. So if someone is just walking by and they try to like just grab it, like they can't because it'll be locked. They'll have to like cut it and like destroy it and make it useless for them. Hopefully they just won't do that. Usually I have this on the back there, but honestly I just put this on the front for the video. I usually have another bungee on the front, but this bungee, I literally had this one connected so that way I could just like bungee it over, and then I can have like packages here on the front, and then I can just like bungee it over like that. But just recently I had this open and I was riding and this got stuck in the wheel and it just ripped it off, and I just haven't taken it off yet, this part. I guess I can just pull it off now, but I need both hands to do that. I had another one on here, like just a regular one, and I just had it hooked over. But the other day I was in front of Target and someone walked by and took it, and they also knocked my bike down. And I'm surprised they didn't damage my LCD. But yeah, kind of annoying, kind of lame. Oh, something else I thought I would tell you guys. I just recently found this out, but this is a USB port under here. So if you have a phone and you want to charge your phone, you can charge your phone off of this battery. So it's pretty cool. Also, there is a way to hack your bike, because people always ask me, how fast can you go? It's a question that people always ask me. How fast can you go? How fast can you go? So you can go about 25 miles. That's straight out of the box. Now there is a way to hack it. I'm not gonna like show you guys in this video because I don't actually know exactly how to do it. But there is a YouTube video online. You can just like, maybe I'll put it in the comments, not in the comments, but maybe I'll put it in the description below. Got a little mud on the bike here. This is a pretty cool bike. This is one of my food delivery bags. If you guys want a link to the food delivery bag, I'll put one in the comments below. But this is actually a nice size bag, you know. It zips up. It can hold about 100 pounds. I've taken like a lot of canned goods and stuff like that using this bag. Taking a lot of hot food using this bag. It has you know, this thermal inside. So it's a pretty nice bag. And it's also I also have this other bag. It's just a large, it's not an insulated bag, it's just a large bag. It's really, really good for transporting like salads and stuff like that, because salads don't need insulated bags. But also something else to point out about this bike, and then I'm gonna wrap this video up. The safety, okay, the safety on this bike. Let's talk about the safety on this bike. So if you guys notice, the front of this bike, the basket is actually attached to the frame, okay? It's attached to the frame. Now, why is this cool? This is super because you could turn the wheel and the basket stays still. Now on my other bike I would turn the wheel and the basket would move because the basket was attached to the wheel, right? Okay, so the problem with having the basket attached to the wheel is it's not as sturdy. And when you have the basket attached to the frame, it makes the bike more sturdy. For example, I've been hit on this bike in the city about 3 times. And the 3 times I was hit, it happened the same exact way. I'm cycling, there's a car getting over and they don't see me. So what do they hit? They hit the basket, okay? When they hit the basket, it makes a big noise. And by the basket being attached to the frame and by these tires being wider, it gives me more balance, right? And it keeps me from falling over. And all 3 of those times I did not like fall over because just the design of the bike, like that basket's attached to the frame, so it makes for a more safer bike. It makes for a more safer design. Let's talk about the tires here. Now, I did switch out the back tire because the back tire was one that had a puncture, No, I'm actually thinking about switching out the front tire too, because just yesterday I actually crashed on the bike. And if you guys can't tell, I'm actually walking a little funny here because I banged up my knee here. I was going about 25 miles an hour, and I literally, it was raining and the streets was wet, and I just fell over. I dragged my knee on the ground a little bit. My hands, I had gloves on, my hands skid on the ground. But my hands were totally okay because I had gloves on, and by the street being wet, my hand just like slid. So that was a really good sign, and it's a good idea to have gloves. I actually have a link for these gloves in the description below. I have like 5 pair of these, so many pair that I switched the colors, you know. And they're really easy. You can just drop them in the washing machine, wash them, and you know, I have like a couple pair back home just ready to go, because a lot of times when I ride in the rain, I'll go back home and these are like totally wet, and I'll go back home and like change clothes, and I don't want to put wet gloves back on, so I'll just have another pair ready, you know. So it's good to have more than one pair. So that is one thing about the bike. I'm thinking about switching the tires, just because maybe it'll be better traction in the rain with these tires, as these tires are a little bit more rugged. These are more off-road tires, and these here look more like street tires here. Now, taking this bike off-road is a whole lot of fun. It's a whole lot of fun. Yeah, this tire is kind of worn, but I mean, it's not, I mean, I guess it only has like 3,000 miles on it, huh? Oh, and there's also a front light. I love that front light. That's a really good front light. Now, I do have a couple of different batteries with this bike, and you have to have multiple keys. So I put a red strip out on this battery, and then I put a red strip on the key, so that way you can see what type of that way I will know what key for which battery. Because whenever you get a new battery, it comes with another set of keys. And I don't know, it's a pretty cool bike, guys. It's a pretty cool bike. I like riding it. It's definitely recommendable. Insane. So the other day, I'll just tell you guys this and I'll wrap the video up because I gotta go. It's a pretty cool place to make a video, but it's starting to get a little windy here and the temperature's cooling off. But yesterday in that crash, I skid so hard that it opened up it literally opened up this on the bike lock. Yeah, but anyway, guys, I'm gonna wrap this video up. I'll see you guys in another video. Like, comment, subscribe. Hopefully this video was helpful to someone. Yeah, but anyway, like, comment, subscribe. Peace out, yo.